professionalinvestor.com's daily brief. The answer to your question is learn the goddamn process, trade your trading plans, don't take too much risk on any one trade, and just let yourself get rich.
Hello everybody, welcome back to another baby powder report. This is Julian reporting in from Bangkok, Thailand, the Death Star. As you can see behind me, we've got, you can't see the buildings, but there are buildings actually. It's all just a giant window in my luxurious, amazing Bangkok condo that is not as cheap as you would think it would be. Let's see if you guys can guess the price. How much do you think I pay for my condo in the center of Bangkok? Do we even have any people watching? Who's watching? We just started. Let me see. Let me pull up the YouTube. All right, there's my face. Wonderful. And do we have a chat? We have a chat, but no one is. It's not even loaded for me yet. Market sizzles as more economic data show U.S. resiliency. ECB raises rates. Nice. Well, you know, in a minute we will look at what happened with the economic report. I guess that you guys have probably seen it. Okay, now I see the chat. Hello, Jonathan. Hello, Noor. Hello, Chris. All right, so Noor guessed 2.5. You mean 2,500 US dollars? I have 2 bathrooms, 2 bedrooms, and a large living area here, which is a panoramic view of the city. So, how much do you guys think? Chris is guessing how much it costs. I was just talking about the rent. I'm not brave enough to buy a condo in Thailand. Once you know a lot about Thailand, you don't want to put all of your money here. Most of it I keep in an outside account. Nuri guesses 3K. Oh, wow. You guys are big spenders. It's a little bit cheaper than that, but super expensive for anybody in Thailand. Any other guesses? 2.5, 3, 1 million, 2,500. Nick guessed 900. Quinn, 800, 600. 600. Fuzzy, come on. Come on, 600. Is that a joke? I'm in the center. It's basically like, this is the same as Times Square in New York City. Okay. All right. So none of you guys are right. The closest is probably, ooh, okay. Well, Nor and Quinn are close. You're close. It's about, depending on the fluctuation. I mean, let's look at the currency conversion here. Okay. Thai baht to USD. Let's see how much it is exactly. Right now it is it's 60,000 baht, which is $1,680. And my electric is about, shockingly, my electric per month is about 125 to 140 per month. But I'm home a good amount of time, so I do use a lot, but I know other people in this condo that use double. They'll use 10,000 baht, $300. You guys are really close. Good job. Dem, Quinn, and Noor, because you guys were so close, each of you gets to make a special request before I end the public stream. So I'm going to remember Dem, Quinn, and Noor. So you 3 can request one stock or crypto coin that you want me to look at, and I will look at it because you guys got it right. So we'll do that. We'll do that at the end. Just stay till the end of the show. All right. So that was a fun beginning. Hopefully you guys have had a great week. Lots to talk about today. We're just getting started. Let me shrink my face. You don't care about that. I think that's small enough. Let me know if you guys want me to be smaller, bigger. You know, I can magically change size. I'm a bit of a magician, so just tell me. All right. So we've got quad witching tomorrow, right? Which means that there is a lot of options expiring, and that means a lot of money. And when there's a lot of money, there's a lot of shenanigans. What is max pain right now? Can you guys see what max pain is? 4,500, right? I mean, that's pretty obvious. And where is the stock market? Right here. Okay, S&P. Wow, what a coincidence. We are at 4,500. Isn't that amazing? So 4,500 basically is where the market's going to close tomorrow for max pain. And you can see we're already topping out in the 1 hour, although this chart does look quite bullish. We're going to come back to this in a moment. I just want to go over the news a little bit more, and then we'll talk about the S&P. So 4,500 is max pain going into tomorrow. I could see us going up to 4,450 or down to 4,450 at the current rate. I'm leaning that we're going to land somewhere between 4,500 and 45 4,550 basically. So expect that going into the close tomorrow, and then we'll talk about where we can go next week when we look at the charts. Forex Factory, why is the market, what's going on with the market? Maybe this will give us some indication. So this is shocking to me, by the way. I cannot believe that retail sales and PPI came in this hot. This is incredibly hot considering people I'm talking to and what I'm seeing. Things are not good from people that I am talking to who run businesses. So I'm curious, what is the consumer buying? What are they buying that is causing this kind of spike? I'd really like to know, because like I said, I know people that work in logistics companies. I know people that run e-commerce businesses. I know people that run physical store businesses. I've talked to all of them. And we're not just talking about in Bangkok. I'm talking about in Europe, in the US, and everyone's down. Everyone's down from a year ago. And we're not talking about like 10%. Talking 40, 50, 60% down in sales from a year ago. So this is kind of shocking to me to see these numbers. I'm wondering when or if things are actually going to hit the fan for real as far as the data, and it's going to match with everyone I'm talking to who are significant business owners. I mean, the majority of them make over $1 million a year. A lot of them are not making $1 million this year, but they did before. Fried chicken costs 300% more now, really. It costs the same in Thailand, but that doesn't matter too much. I just walked past a fried chicken place after running today. It's funny you mentioned that, Fuzzy. Okay, so I just thought I'd give that little insight from people I've been talking to. I am surprised by these numbers, but they are the numbers, and that explains why the US dollar is rallying. When these numbers are hot, the US dollar is going up. US economy is doing well. You want to own dollars? Okay, great. If you look at this weekly chart, it's extremely bullish, extremely bullish. Let me go back really quick. Let's look at one more thing as far as the news and fundamentals, and then we're going to go right into looking at the S&P and all the stuff that's going on there. So last week, investor sentiment was 42% bullish. They ended up being right. We only had 30% bearish. When I refresh this, do you guys think it's going to be more bullish or bearish? I mean, obviously you guys can look it up and just answer. So I'm just going to refresh it because I think somebody cheated last time. Wow. Okay. So interesting. So as of the 13th, a big drop off in bearishness, big move to neutral, and kind of a big drop off in bullishness. Sorry. Huge jump in neutral and almost no increase and almost a decrease in bearishness. It makes sense. There's the market is certainly unclear right now. Let's look at, you guys want to look at the S&P or you want to look at the dollar first? Which one you want me to start with? Do you even care? I will wait. There's always the delay. I hope I can get over 20 people watching. I prefer at least 20 people live. The dollar or the S&P? What are we looking at? DXY, SP. Oh, right. Brian wants to look at DXY. All right. Brian is the boss, so we're going to look at the DXY. Oh. Okay, so I've been corrected. That was not Brian. That's Chris, who is our showrunner in a way. He's LARPing as Brian. So I'm gonna do the DXY first anyway. Look, so this weekly looks extremely bullish. There's no denying the fact that it is beyond once you go past the VIP level, you see it hasn't gone above the VIP level since 2022. When that happens, and stochastic RSI is also very bullish, the bullish momentum does not just stop. Okay, it has to continue for a while. And that's exactly what we're seeing here. I mean, look at the last time we pushed above the VIP line. You see it pushed, big push above, and then it just sat there for a while before then again pushing higher. We're basically here, right? So we could easily get serious momentum. Look how much it pushed higher when that happened last time in 2022. Let's go down to a 3-day chart. Look at this 3-day. No breakdown at all. None. Just complete push higher. And you can see I drew this uptrending channel. The midpoint of the channel is going to be our major resistance level up here at 106 area. Go to a daily chart. All right, so the daily, Let me draw our uptrend line. The daily, I want to see a breakdown. I can't really get bearish on the US dollar until I see breakdown in this uptrend right here. And you can see in the past, I drew, I'm just going to clone the existing one. I believe I drew an ABCD. So right there. So there's our ABCD potential pattern all the way up to 107, which would take you right into this major area. I'm going to add some horizontal line zones. Got this zone here. Got another one right up here. And the next one is right around this area here. Those are kind of your 3 zones. So we've already kind of pushed through that one. You see how we rejected from it initially? Now we're pushing above it. We should go to this next one at 105.7 and then to 106. I don't see this slowing down. I don't know why it wouldn't continue from here. Looks like a breakout on the 4-hour on that economic data. Look at that. This is the perfect kind of move that I like to see. 4-hour push higher, close at the highs, and then just continue along with the higher time frames being very bullish. Not surprised at all. I would like to see it continue, and I think we will. Interesting to see the S&P rallying at the same time as the dollar, and even gold fighting. So what this tells me with gold looks like it's putting in some bottoming action, and it did tag into my buy zone that we talked about last week, which was right down here between 904 and 1890. And anyone that follows along on the site knows that I posted a trade going short gold at around 1921 or 1923. I can't remember, but it was a very successful short, and I've already taken profits on about half of it. I'm still short on the other half, but I do think it's getting, time to take profits on the rest of it. It looks like we're breaking up from that downtrend, but I really wanted to see, you see, we did not actually break out yet. I really wanted to see a tag below 1900. I was looking for below 1900. It got to 1901. Maybe there were a lot of people looking for 1900, and you just had a little bit of front running go on, and that's what caused the reversal spike. But that's okay. Even if it moves up higher, I'll get stopped out in profits, so I'm not worried. Thank you, Luke. Appreciate it. So that's a little bit on gold and DXY and why DXY is rallying. Let's talk about S&P. What's going on with S&P? Where is it going? What is it doing? Why is it doing what it's doing? Something I wanted to show first is, I always like to start with these higher time frames. Let's go to a monthly chart. Something you should keep in mind. There's a 9 on the top of the mark. Okay, that's kind of a big deal. Last time we hit an 8, the market bottomed. Last time we hit a 9 before that, the market topped. So now we've got a 9 coming in and potentially a top. And on top of that, ironically, that was no pun intended there, by the way. If we do this and we look at the fibs, the market, the S&P, is exactly in the zone where I would be considered shorting it. Right here, this is my short zone. Basically, all this is where you play shorts, and I actually prefer, you can start at 61.8, but I actually prefer 78.6 to 88.6 area, and normally a little bit beyond it, and then my stop is above the highs. That's where I like to short, and you can see if you followed this, you would have shorted it perfectly right up here at 45.50, 4600, and now it's coming up and tagging that zone again, and you're going to get another potential short opportunity. Here's the one problem. You are front running a bit because RSI has not broken down. It hasn't. It started to over here, but it's now bouncing and potentially putting in a W, and it could move higher. That's the risk you take. So something to keep in mind. This is not a market that has truly broken down yet. It just hasn't. It's pulled back, yes. Would I love it to break down? Yes. But it hasn't happened, and I can't trade off my wishes. Let's look at what's going on a daily chart. On a daily chart, we had a breakout. Okay, this was your breakout. A 9 came in. We had the pullback to the midpoint of my uptrending. Guys, I know this chart's a little bit cluttered looking, but it really isn't that much. I've got some levels, and you can see how these levels are respected, the red lines. This one I can move up a little bit, and it was basically almost tagged This one you can see worked as an incredible support level. And you can see how this level also acted as a resistance and then a support on the other side. These levels are important. That's why they're on my chart. Further, RSI works as a good confirmation of direction change. You can see here, right here, obvious. I mean, it's not a clear, obvious divergence. Like price should have made the same low or a slightly lower low, while RSI made a higher high. It didn't, but it was still enough of an indication of a reversal to me. And then on the other side, we had the 9 come in, created a pause, tagged our 78.6 level, and pulled back. And where did it pull back to? Our EMA 50. You see how these in our resistance line. You see how all of this kind of lines up? It all works in synergy to create a trading roadmap. So then we can try to predict what is going to happen going forward. All right, so speaking of that, let's try to predict what is going to happen next. The DXY is rallying, very bullish, so that's bearish for the S&P. We've got quad witching tomorrow, and max pain is at the exact level we're at. So let's go first in timeframes and where I expect it over each day, and then, expand that out to the future. So to start, as I said, tomorrow I expect us to sit between right here, 45.50, right up here. Maybe it even does something like this. Look, let me just get my little marker and I'll make it very clear about what's going to happen. Or at least what I think is going to happen. I don't want this to be red. What color can we make this? Yellow. Let's make it yellow. Okay, so here's 45.50 right there. And here's 44.50 right here. So the market may spike, take out these highs tomorrow, and then just play in this area. That's what I see happening. And there's no reason why it can't. When the market is at, the RSI is at a VIP level like this, that the logical thing to happen is it just oscillates. It doesn't really do that much. So don't be surprised if going in tomorrow, that's all you see. You might see a spike just to take out these highs, run some stops, but nothing else out of the ordinary. The real question is what's going to happen after that. And as of right now, if we go to like a 12-hour chart, to me, this is looking quite bullish. And I don't see why, especially with this W confirmation, like if this is our bottoming W confirmation, I don't see why this can't at least get to 4,700. It's looking pretty darn bullish, unfortunately, to me. I'm kind of tired of this up only market. I'm really tired of it, but seems like that's what it wants to do. And the potential is to go to 48.50, 4,900 all the way into October. That's what this is pointing at, and that's what I'm also seeing. Let me make this a little bit more conservative here. Yeah, 48.50. That's what I'm seeing with ABCD, and that's what I'm seeing with Chaos here with the confirmation of this W. And a retest. It retested it, and now it's pushing higher. Now, is there a chance that I could be wrong and we can suddenly reverse? Yes, of course. But that's what this looks like right now. Let's see what happens tomorrow. I think tomorrow I'm pretty confident it's going to stay in that zone I talked about. But Monday, I mean, all bets are off. We gotta see how the data updates, and I will post updates in my room based on, when I have more data. It's kind of like predicting the weather. As you get more data, you can predict a little bit more accurately. As of this moment, it's looking on a daily chart to be very bullish, and like it wants to push higher. Now, that's interesting considering, what did I show you? Investor sentiment. 34% are bullish versus 29% bearish. You would think the market would start leaning to the bear side finally, but especially with DXY rallying, but it just doesn't seem like it wants to. It just wants to keep going higher. And I can't find any, as much as I am a perma bear sometimes, I can't find any bear case here, especially with this breakout. You do have an 8 that's coming here, and that should create a pullback, but that's fine. We want to be in this zone going into tomorrow. We don't want to go take off yet. Okay, hopefully that makes sense in terms of what I see happening going into next week with the S&P. I talked about the dollar. It also looks really bullish, so it's going to be interesting, that dynamic with the dollar being bullish and the S&P being bullish. and gold looking like it's trying to reverse, but not officially reversing yet. Gold, I still see potentially hitting 1900, 1890 in conjunction with the US dollar rallying. But you can see that sometimes, even though the US dollar is rallying, gold doesn't always have to go down. It doesn't. It obviously it didn't. So just understand that they're not always inversely correlated. Don't bet the farm on that, okay? How far into this are we? 20 minutes. Okay, we're 20 minutes into this. The 3 people who won at the beginning, please put your requests in because I will do them in about 5 minutes. So please pick some individual stock you want me to talk about, and I'm happy to talk about it. In the meantime, let's go to crypto. Let's look at Bitcoin. I know that's what you guys are interested in. Everybody wants to know about Bitcoin, what's happening with Bitcoin. All right, I'm gonna drink some water here. Gotta drink water before I look at Bitcoin. It's always a kind of a nightmare. I hate Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the worst thing to try to trade. I really don't think, and I talked about this on the last stream, if you want to trade on hard mode, you trade Bitcoin, okay? Bitcoin is trading on hard mode. That's all I'm going to say about that. Look, on a 3-day chart, Bitcoin doesn't look amazing. It looks like we're just retesting right here, running the stops. Nothing here is making me bullish just yet. I don't see any breakout on this higher time frame chart. All I see was a breakdown. However, on this weekly, interesting to note, even if I move it up here, we never really broke down. We're also being held, and we had an 8 come in. So it's kind of in like a sandwich area. And it makes sense that it's done nothing for basically a month. There's a lot of confusion on which direction Bitcoin's going to go. And even the TRI breadth, which is historically very accurate with Bitcoin, is running into a bit of confusion because it's just price is just all over the place. On a daily chart, you can see we are breaking out. If we don't reverse soon, this could be very bullish. I would like to see a pullback. I don't want to see Bitcoin push higher. But with that in mind, right, then the max pain trade probably is higher. Like if I counter trade myself and my emotions, then the trade should be higher, right? But we've got a lot of barriers here we've got to break through. So this is something I'm watching. I'm on the sidelines with Bitcoin. I don't have any trades on. Something interesting to note was you did have nice divergence with RSI alerting you basically. Price making this lower low, the ultimate low, running all the stops just a couple days ago, right before it went on to this massive rally. So typical crypto, running the stops, pulling back hard, putting in a divergence with something like the RSI, and then just taking off. That's what we're seeing here. The question really is, what is it going to do next? And I wish I had a good answer. I just don't. You do have a 9 that came in at this massive resistance level, 61.8, my trend heuristic channel, along with this massive trend line. A lot of resistance here. It's going to be tough for Bitcoin to push through this, along with the fact that the US dollar just keeps rallying. That's also going to provide resistance to Bitcoin. So I see this as if I was someone looking to trade Bitcoin, I would see this as a nice shorting area. Like this is you can short right down to, let me see something here. Sorry guys, a little bit tired. I ran a lot today and very fast, so I pushed myself pretty hard. A little bit sleepy now. Let me see something here. Let's reverse this. Okay, so your 38.2 is at 26,100. A short here, basically from here, with your stop above the highs, targeting just this 38.2 area. You know, it's not a great trade, but it's not a terrible trade with a 3-to-1 risk reward. You know, you just short down to this 2600 area. No reason why it couldn't pull back to that. That's the trade I would look at with Bitcoin right now if I was interested in short-term trading. Otherwise, I would just sit on my hands and watch and wait and see what happens. If it breaks out, you're probably going to get a retest. You can even buy a little bit on the breakout, and then on the retest, you buy the rest. And then it should just take off and head higher. That is a very likely possibility. But otherwise, this is just a huge stop run of traders, and you can take advantage of that by playing the retest. I'm sorry, playing the reversion to the mean trade, where you're shorting this top area, and then it just reverts to the mean around 2600, and you profit from that reversion. So that, I think, is a good short-term trade. Okay, let's take the requests. We're about 25 minutes in, so I've got another 5 to 7 minutes. One FCR's picks. I'm little dating. I'm at 0.56 first car. Still waiting to build a second. Curious to see what your RSI system indicates. Nor also asked for global X uranium ETF. Okay, let's do the ETF first, and then we'll look at the crypto. X uranium ETF. Okay. Interesting. Look at this thing. Why didn't you ask about this, Nor, when it was at 20 bucks? Why are you asking about it at 26? Oh, man. Obviously, it's extremely bullish. I mean, that goes without saying. Look at this on a monthly chart. Very interesting. It's almost like put in a bull flag, and now it's breaking out of that bull flag. I don't see why this couldn't go to $40. That's a big resistance area on the other side over here. And clear ABCD move. Also, if you do chaos, right, like this. Chaos, if I do a conservative chaos, puts you at about 41, while ABCD puts you at about 39. I mean, unfortunately, it took off. So the question is, where do you put your stop? Because, look, okay, I'm going to tell you how I would play this. I don't like that it already took off. It makes me uncomfortable. But we're about to hit the 1.618 extension of this 4.669 chaos level theory. Usually when you hit the 1.618, things pull back. That's almost always what happens. You usually get pulled back to this trend heuristic, the 50 EMA on the 4-hour chart, on a daily. Sometimes you get pullbacks to the 10 and the 50. So I would set buys down here. I would look for that pullback, set buys here, and then ride it up to that $39 target. I think that would make sense as a trade. You've also got a 9 in the daily. So this needs to cool down. It needs to have some kind of pullback. Maybe you just set buys on the way down like that, and then just get filled and then ride it up and set your stop down here. And let's say your average fill ends up being like here, and your stop is down here. What kind of risk reward does that give you? Let me see if this is an acceptable trade. We're going to go to 39. I always like to err on the conservative side. It's still a 5-to-1 trade. It's really not bad. If you get the majority of your fills around $24 a share, let me make it $24 a share with your stop right here below these lows. And your target is 39. Yeah, 5-to-1 risk reward. It's not a bad trade. All right, hopefully that answered your question, Nora. Thank you for sharing this one with us. I like it. I just wish we would have caught it a little bit sooner. Okay. Dave asked for RNDR. I feel like I've talked about this RNDR so many times. Yeah, I've done a bunch of crap with this. Okay, so look. So with RNDR, you had this big parallel channel uptrend that broke down. And then I drew our fib levels, and I said, okay, well, this is your buying zone. It came into your buying zone and tagged it 1, 2, 3 times. Right at the top, which it seems like a lot of people are interested in this coin. So it makes sense that it's not really giving an opportunity to get in. That means that it's a good pick. That's what that means. It's annoying and it sucks, but it's actually a good sign. Because if it was easy to get in, then that means you're probably wrong. But because it's hard, you're probably right, and this is going to take off. So the question is, where is it going to go in the short term? And that's what I'm here to answer. All right, 250. Let's go to a lower time frame here. I want to look at it on a daily chart. Again, I always like to err on the side of caution, conservativeness. It's just like if you're driving, right? So if you're driving, I mean, I like to give this example of driving, because when you're dealing with markets, you're dealing with people in a chaotic system. When you're driving, you're also dealing with people in a little bit less chaotic, but still a chaotic system, because you're dealing with people, humans, and you don't know what they're going to do. You don't know what the person in the car next to you is thinking that day, or what happened. Maybe his wife cheated on him the night before. Who knows what could have happened? So it's always beneficial that if you're in a car, you assume that everyone around you is crazy, and that 1% chance of something going wrong is going to happen every day. And that causes you to drive what I call defensively. And by assuming these bad scenarios are going to happen, you protect yourself. Same thing with trading. I like to sometimes, or most of the time, assume the worst case scenario and say, okay, if this is the worst case scenario that happened, will I be okay? And if the answer is yes, then I can take the trade. So just something to keep in mind. For RNDR, I think a 215 target looks decent. It's already taken off a bit. You kind of have to, I would like to see a little bit of a pullback and set my stop below the lows as normal, 120 something. And then my target is right here at around $2, my first target. It's only a 2.6 to 1 trade. That's why I would have liked to have gotten in a bit lower. And then I've got about a 4 to 1 risk reward here. 4 to 1, which is, in my opinion, much better than a 2.618. So I'd like to see a little bit of a pullback in price if possible, just to get filled on that. It's hitting this 50 EMA moving average, which is a massive resistance level. But this thing could run. I mean, if this goes up to 2, it could go to 2.8. No reason why that couldn't happen. And then eventually 3 to get your double, so on and so forth. Let's look at a monthly chart. I mean, if this is just your pullback on a monthly, right? I'm gonna go to a 2-week. I don't like how the monthly looks. If this is just your pullback, we could say that this is your ABCD, right? And then, so then your target is up here at 370. You get a nice double off of that. 3-day, like if this was your basing pattern, you can see how, let me see, did I line this up well? You can see how look at how 4.669 worked here, right? 1.618 was tagged, you had a big reversal, pushed through, 2.618 level was basically tagged, pulled back, and then it tagged 4.669 multiple times. You could have taken profits, and then it pulled, and then it reversed. Look how easy that was. We're kind of doing the same thing here. My only thing is, this is maybe breaking out now, and you don't want to miss it, so you can get in a little bit, but understand that it could pull back and touch this trend line again and then go up. It's a very real scenario, so just keep these things in mind. Drive defensively. All right, Quinn, you asked for Atom, Cosmos, Atom. Oh, wow. It really shit the bed, huh? Oh, you're welcome, Dave. Yeah, it's right back down at the lows. Weekly has a 9 that came in. Let me change this. Says this drawing is using an alert. What alert am I using this for? I don't think I'm using this for any kind of alert. No breakout really on the weekly chart yet, as you can see, but you do have a 9 that's come in, which gives me a little bit of pause. Also on a 3-day, you have a 9. Wow, look at that. And on daily, you have basically 4 potential divergences, 1 confirmed, and an RSI that arguably looks like it wants to turn around. This one is pretty good. I like the way this looks. My only concern is it didn't go below the lows here. I would like to see it push below the lows. If you're a risk taker, you could take a long here. You could. And you might do very well, or you might get stopped out. Thing is, just set your stop right below the lows. Set your target, you know, potentially the 200-day moving average. Boom, 9-to-1 risk reward. If you get stopped out, it's not a big deal. Wait for price to pull back more. Preferably, you know, your next buy would be right down here at the 550 area. And that would be your second trade, and that one should work out. That's what I'm seeing on Cosmos. It looks, at least from a technical perspective, I don't know about the fundamentals. Let me be very clear. I have no idea about those. From a technical standpoint, it looks like it's ripe to consider a reversal. However, keep in mind, you are front running with this. So there is potential that you can get stopped out, a much higher potential because of the front run. But I prefer to front run and get stopped out than have a poor risk reward on my trades. I like to have a 4 or 5-to-1 or higher, as you guys often see. So that's my thoughts on Atom. Not a bad trade. I would consider taking this. Nice question. All three of you guys asked about very, very nice ones. I think every week I'm going to do some kind of contest to like qualify people to be able to ask a special question. Well, I've got 26 people in here. Okay, guys, don't forget to press the like button. If you're not a TRI member, subscribe. Consider subscribing. I'm on every Thursday. And if you want to talk to me on the site personally, sign up, free trial. We just started our school term. If you're interested in our level 1 school, welcome to sign up. I mean, technically signups are closed, but if you PM us, you know, the first week is just an introduction, so you can still get in. We've got a pretty small class this term, which is not a bad thing. A lot of personalized attention, but just keep in mind that, you know, if you know someone that wants to get in or you want to get in, now, in my opinion, is the best time, because it's a small class, so you get a lot of personalized attention. It's always good to buying when they're crying, right? So learning to trade, buying things to trade, everything like that. Okay, sorry TS, we can go about that, talk about that in the after party. I'm already over time, so I'm gonna cut it off here, and I will see all of you guys in the after party, and if not, I will see you next week. Same place, same bad channel. All right, bye everybody.